Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back. I am currently under the umbrella here in the garden because it is a little roasty toasty today. There's a nice little breeze that's coming through. It picks up every now and then, gets a little stronger, but not too bad. Great day for working in the garden, and I have been just chipping away at a bunch of different projects. Mostly today, what I wanted to do was get all of the rototilling done. If you guys follow my channel regularly, you probably noticed that last week I didn't post any videos, and that is because I had to take a last-minute trip down to see my dad in California. It was unplanned. I'm just gonna kind of show you some of the stuff that we've got going on today. We got dirt. That came in on Thursday. I'll throw a clip in here real quick. And otherwise, the rototilling is done. I have purchased some plants that I wasn't planning on buying. So there's all kinds of fun stuff to see today. Okay, and of course now we are in that natural wind tunnel that comes right through here, so sorry about that. But the first thing on the list of things to show you guys is all of the rototilling. We've got these two big pads right up in the front that are fully rototilled. These are gonna be where a lot of the seeded cut flowers go. And then just past that, you can see that we've got all of these nice distinct lines on both sides. This line right here is gonna be dahlias. These four lines are all sunflowers. And then if we come around to this side, we've got sunflowers, 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 and then there's another pad back here, and I'm actually going to be planting some corn in this section right here. Mostly ornamental, but I did tell my friend that I would plant her up some regular corn if I have room, because I don't eat it. So this is the dirt pile. We've got 1 yard of topsoil right here, and then this is like 9 yards, I think, of either a mulch or a compost, whatever you want to call it. It's technically called forest compost, but it is what we're going to be using as mulch, as well as what I'm going to be mixing in with the topsoil here to go in the garden bed. Because I had the rototiller, you will notice that I did go ahead and I tilled up all of this. It's not perfect. There are some spots in there that I will have to hand work, but I don't have to till up the whole thing by hand. I also did that right over here, of course being very careful not to disturb the gladiolas that are planted by the fence line. But that is also tilled up. So I did actually till in a new garden bed. Surprise, surprise, I know. But there's a whole new garden bed right over here because I wanted this elderberry to kind of frame up the corner of this building right here. But it needs to have sunlight. So I bumped out a bubble right here, and I'm gonna plop that elderberry in, but the rest of this bed is mostly gonna be shaded, so I'll be able to do things like hostas and other shade plants. All right, so it has been several days, and you guys are getting a little sneak peek behind me, but I don't even know where I left off on this video, so I'm just gonna pick up. I'm gonna walk around and show you guys everything that's been done this week. There was a lot of infrastructure that I was planning on doing this week and last week, and I just mostly did it all this week because I didn't get anything done last week because I was at my dad's. So I'm gonna walk around and I'm gonna show you everything that is done, plus a sneak peek or two at things that will be done moving forward. So let's take a tour. Alrighty, so the two main things that happened this week was all of the drip line. So all of the drip line is now run for everything, all of my systems, and I will show you guys what that looks like in a second. And the second big project that we did this week were the garden beds. So I just finished filling these today. It took probably one whole day of work on this to do the drip line and the garden beds and all of that. So that is all in now. This bed, you guys will notice that it is slightly different, and that is just because this is where our blueberries and strawberries are going to go. So there's some extra pine shavings in that box to lower the acidity for the blueberries, because we have really alkaline soil here. So that's a good fix for that. And then right down here, you guys can see, this is one of the little sneak peeks that I wanted to give you. So this is how I'm going to be filling in the garden area. So all of this is just going to be mulch, just like these garden beds out here. So I went ahead and I mulched in this garden bed right here because I wanted to give an example of how this is going to look. The rest of the garden beds, I do plan on planting stuff here in the next week or so. So I'm going to wait to mulch until I have what I have already purchased planted. This bed, there's already gladiolas, but I don't have anything that's immediately going in this bed, so I figured I would just mulch it in the meantime. I did pick up this arbor, and I picked up these two clematis, which I'm going to plant here, and then I'm going to plant something right in front. We do have a peony right here, so I don't know, but something is going to get planted in this section too, which is a new development. And this is also new. I have a little greenhouse now, so I have some stuff that I just picked up, my strawberries, my blueberries, blueberry, dwarf blueberry, and some blue phlox. And then up here is where I have all of our sweet peas growing. So these are all of the sweet pea shoots that are going to go along the the fence line around the vegetable garden, and some morning glory that I don't know what to do with. So as far as drip line goes, all of the drip line is run from the backyard, which is the big grass area. It comes around the corner of the house, and then it splits off into different parts. So we have the cut flower garden out there, that is one system, and then this line that is right in the middle here is going to be the watermelons and other associated melons. And then we have one line that comes all the way down to this point right here, which is in line with the front area. And that's going to be all of our pumpkins. So these are the first three systems that come in off the drip line: melons, pumpkins, cut flowers. And then we have two lines that come down the house. One of them goes into the vegetable garden, which has all of the micro tubing run to each bed. So each one of these beds is irrigated on a timer, and then the other tubing runs through all of our flower beds. And in each flower bed, you'll see it's the same 1/2-inch tubing, but instead of just regular poly tubing, this actually has emitters in it, and these emitters go every 9 inches. So these are soaker hoses, but they keep pressure so that you can run a lot more of them over traditional soaker hoses. So that's what all of this is that you see, all of these rings. This is all soaker. So we have this bed right here. It comes across, and eventually this will be buried. And then we have this bed right here. We have a line that goes this direction because at some point I would like to get some containers and plant up containers along here and mulch in a little border. And then of course this whole bed is run exactly the same way as this one, but it's all mulched in so you can't see it. And then I did take and I ran the tubing all the way up to the front and around just so there was water in case I ever want to do any kind of planting in here. I don't really intend to in the immediate future, but you never know. So coming around the front of the house towards the backyard, you guys can kind of see where all of this comes together back over here. So in the backyard, we have one outdoor spigot that has actual water pressure. And so you can see there's 5 lines that come in here, and the 4 go to this timer, 1 goes to this timer, and then there's 1 line that goes on this side of the house that actually goes to the front porch. So the front porch is irrigated as well, but I don't have all of that set up yet because I am way tired of doing drip. The rest of this is just spigots in here, extra spigots. One of them goes to a hose that I water the lawn with. The other one is just my regular watering hose. And that's pretty much it for the backyard. All right, so this is the back of the cut flower garden. So if all of this is grown in, what we would be seeing is the tallest of tall from this point of view. From the other side, it would be shortest to tallest. So we're just gonna run through here. This is a 5-foot pathway right here that continues all the way up through. These rototilled lines were just kind of border lines for me. I might plant something there down the road. I might not, it just depends. I'd have to put in more drip, and I'm really tired of drip at this point, so I'm not doing anything with those in the immediate future. So the way that I ended up setting this up, I have no idea if I've already told you guys, but I'm going to tell you again. The first 4 sections, or 2 sections on each side, are exactly the same. Every line is spaced out 12 inches. The person that I took inspiration from for this setup right here does 10 inches, but it worked out better for me to do 12, so that's what I did. We're just trying it out. Trying it out this year. So this is regular drip tape, so it's flat tape with emitters in it every 6 inches, I think. So this one's pretty consistent. And then I do have a valve at the top of each one in case one of these lines I want to turn off. Or for instance, like I actually don't have enough seed to plant every single one of these in right now, so I don't need to run every single line. This is 1/2-inch tubing that runs down the length, and then this is a coupler, which is a barb that pops into the tubing, and then it runs a 1/2-inch drip tape off of that. So the first 2 sections are set up like that. 1 line 12 inches, 1 line 12 inches, and then the spacing between rows is 36 inches. And again, we have that same setup, 36 inches, and then we get into our single row. So single row, single row, single row, and then back here is where we're doing our corn. So this is going to be the same setup where the rows are tighter together. So we have the same setup on this side, 3, 3, and then it immediately goes 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. I just walked all the way around the house, and then I realized that if I don't address this, that I'm going to get a lot of questions. These bundles, I actually picked up last night. These are all of the T-posts for staking in the garden. This is a huge wind alley right here, so I'm gonna be staking all of the single lines, just one every 6 feet. So one at the front, one at the end, one in the middle, and then I'm gonna run twine. Really simple, nothing crazy. So that's what all of those are for. But these bundles, I actually picked them up last night, and they are just slat fencing. I think they're, I wanna say 4 feet tall, and my plan for these is I'm actually going to do a border around the outside of the cut flower garden. So this is something that I was thinking about doing next year when I do the garden. I did have to stop and think about the fact that there are a lot of chickens in this area, and so my immediate thought was that they would come in and scratch and disturb the seeding that was being done, and so I was like, okay, well, I'll just put a border up while stuff is germinating. But then I was like, but these are so pretty. So the way that that is gonna work is we'll still have our 5-foot walkway here, but the 4 corners around each one is gonna get encased with this, so it'll make a C shape, and then on our walkways I'll have to make some sort of gate, some simple sort of gate. I should have enough of the bundled fencing left to where I can just reinforce it into a gate, but we'll see. So that's a project that'll probably happen in the next week or so. I'm gonna have to get that going sooner rather than later because I want to start seeding out here like next week. We're there. I can start seeding out there next week. I can probably start some seeds in here next week. In a couple weeks I'll be getting some tomato plants and some basil plants and all of the herbs for the herb garden. So it's coming together. One of the other things that I did just as kind of a future proofing is I actually ran Dripline. The Dripline that does this bed actually goes all the way around the shed. So I can plant anywhere around the shed without having to add Dripline, which is easy to do. That's not a problem, but I was running it, I figured I might as well, so we did. And I also did future-proof this in here a little bit too in the same way. I left a good amount of Dripline here in case I ever move this table out and put another planter box in here. I'll be able to run Dripline right over to that too. So that's pretty much it, guys. That's all I have. This week was really crazy. I mean, started out rototilling, and then I started doing drip almost immediately, and I did drip. I've been doing drip for like 3 or 4 days to get all of this drip run. We've been doing a lot out here. So if this episode seems like a megasode or it was extra long, and you're still here hanging out, thank you very much, because this was a lot. Oh, the sun is coming out. Oh my gosh, that feels so good. But yeah, so I am very excited to start planting. I cannot wait. I've been putting off some of the planting just because I know that I needed to get this infrastructure done, and it's done. And it feels so good to have automated water everywhere. Everywhere. Like I don't have to hand water again if I don't want to. So, all right. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys next time.